Again, with the YouTube channel, one thing I wanted to do, because it seemed pretty clear. It seemed like one way to get, because basically I wanted to try to have the channel grow. It's like I wanted to have it like have broad appeal, but it was my goal. It's like, oh, I want to try to get more subscribers. I want to try to get this thing to grow. So I was really trying to figure out, okay, what would make what would be popular to show, and part of it is to show like breaking news. It's like, okay, you want to figure out whatever's new and exciting. You want to show that and try to show it first. And a lot of the new toys, like a lot of new toys just in the world, are shown first at New York Toy Fair in February. So it's like, oh,
Right.
let me and that's a closed industry show. Basically, it's what it is. It's like toy companies. So people making toys, like at the convention center, they each set up their own little booth, and their main goal is they're trying to sell these things, that make deals to sell these things at wholesale to retailers, where it's like ideally sell them to like Walmart and to Target, but also lots of smaller retailers too, like maybe down to like just a local comic book store. You want
Right.
to sort of like it's like all the toy companies, like they're trying to show their new stuff and trying to sell it, but they let press in too. But yeah, it's a closed event, but they'll let press in. So it's like, oh, okay, let's see if I can get in this press. And uh and again, it's like it seemed like a struggle. Like I think the first time I tried, I because they want to like see some evidence. It's like, are you really press? and uh and I try to show them. It's like, yeah, it's like I got this, it's like I'm on YouTube. And that was kind of like still early enough in the days of YouTube that they just sort of like, yeah, they actually did let me in. And my first stop was the NECA booth. And it's like, oh, okay. It's like, and actually it was very low key that year. I think maybe because the weather was bad, so there weren't a lot of people. A lot of people had probably like like ended up skipping it, a lot of the press, because it was just really snowy and cold February.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went to the NECA booth and I'm looking around, and it's like, yeah, it was pretty low key, where like no one at that, because it can vary greatly at that. It's like, yeah, it's an open booth, anybody can wander in, and they're just letting me look around, they're not bothering me. And it's like, do you have any new Godzilla stuff? And it's like, oh yeah, the guy showed. It's like, yeah, back here. And there, like on the shelf was one Godzilla, and he was blue. And at first thought is like, oh, I wonder if he's not finished, because it's like, why is he blue? And it turned out it was like that. It was the video game version. It was like the video game. It was their
Oh yeah.
84. It was their 84, which they sort of like had transformed into like the video, the NES video game. So, but yeah,
Right.
so I showed that. So it's like, oh yeah, let me shoot some video. So I showed that. And but yeah, that's been part of the fun struggle, like for me as a YouTuber, trying to trying to show news. So then I'd like a few other years I tried to ask permission to get into Toy Fair, and they said, no, you don't qualify. You don't have enough of an audience. So I said, okay, I'll try. So I kept trying to. So that was also another goal. It's like, well, what do I have to do to qualify to get to Toy Fair? And let me try to do that too.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And
Did they ever give you like straight requirements, or do you still just trying to kind of figure out?
yeah, well, they have different categories, and so it's like I thought, and it seems like there's so like the most straightforward one is if you are traditional press for like a newspaper or a magazine, and you've got like published articles. They're like, oh, show us your published articles in your newspaper or magazine. But obviously I can't do that, or show us your press credentials. So for more online press, there's like, okay, what type of online press are you? It's like, are you on YouTube, or are you on Instagram, or do you have your own like website, with like kind of like a blog? And it seemed like the easiest way to qualify was if you had your own website. So I said, oh, okay, I'll make my own website, which is really kind of like outdated. I think at this point people don't really visit like websites much. It's like most news is concentrated on social media, like
Right.
Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. But it's like, okay, I'll make my own website. And so basically, with for a long time, I'd like when I make a YouTube video, I'd also add a page to the website, which is like where it was basically just like a link. It was like the thumbnail, and the whole page was just like, oh yeah, here's I've reviewed this toy. like you know, click on this link to see the video. And it was like a link to my YouTube video.
Okay.
But here I could say it's like, yeah, I got a website, but people didn't really visit the website much,
Yeah.
which understandably, it's like I know I wouldn't have visited it either. But yeah, so I try to qualify that way of like it's like okay, I've got the website here, and
Yeah.
oh yeah, but yeah, so it's like the most exciting year was when I was in anticipation of Godzilla King of the Monsters, because we hadn't seen, because we really hadn't really gotten a good look at what the monsters were going to look like. And often like the first look at a movie, like the first good look you get of often like the first piece of information you get that's fairly detailed is the toys. So I was like, okay, it seemed like I asked, so I managed to get into permission to go to Toy Fair, and yeah, NECA knew me because I like they were sending me like samples. So I asked them, it's like, okay, I'd like to go to, when I get to Toy Fair, I'd like to go to your booth. And it's like, if I could, I'd like to be there like when you first open your booth. Because again, it's their booth. They can refuse people if they want. Because
Right.
again, they're there to sell. They're not there to show the stuff to me. They're there to show it to you know, to retailers to try to sell it wholesale. So this is their big opportunity. Like this is the, you know, this, you know, these few days is like their big chance to basically to like stay in business, to like sell enough stuff to stay in business. So I asked to say, okay, can I just go to the booth when you first open and be there like 4 minutes? I want to be in the booth for like 4 minutes to like photograph the new Godzilla King of the Monsters toys. Because I asked them, it's like, are you gonna have Godzilla? I think they told me it's like, yeah, we're gonna have Godzilla King of the Monsters toys out there. And so I was practicing. I was like, okay, because I like figured how can I do this fast? So there I thought, oh,
Yeah.
okay, the fastest thing is to do it on my phone, so I could like upload it right away. So I was practicing, it's like, how do I film on my phone, and then how do I like take the video from my phone and upload it? And then I had like the phone, I had the whole setup where I like attached the phone to like a little handle, like like a little put it so I could a handle so I could hold it better,
Yeah. That's
and then put a light
important.
on top of the handle as a light, so I can have a light and then the phone, and then I'm holding it underneath, and and so I can like go there, and add the light is was I think actually makes it helps a lot, because the lighting in these booths is surprisingly bad. So it's like having bringing your own light helps a lot. So
Okay.
yeah, so I went in there and I was actually practicing. It's like I was at home. I was like trying to practice at it. Okay, let's pretend in the next room is the NECA booth, and I'll go in. I'll like set everything up. I'll get all my phone and my light set up, and I'll walk over there and I'll film Godzilla, and I'll try to get the light on it. I'll try to keep it in focus, because if I got too close, like my camera wouldn't focus. So I got to make sure it's not too close, and I got to make sure I don't shake the camera a lot. So I can't have try to have smooth video instead of shaky video. And then it's like, okay, I'm gonna film it, and then I'm gonna like upload it to YouTube like this. And
Yeah.
so it's like, okay, so I was like, I got there before it opened. I figured out where the NECA booth was, and I'm like at, the security guard is keeping everybody out. It's like, okay, you can't get in till like 9 a.m. So 9 a.m. came. It's like, oh, you can go in now. So it's like I shot it, and there was the display, and that was like our first like good look of like Mothra, for example, from the movie.
Yeah.
And so I'm shooting the video and I'm taking a few still photos. It's like, okay, then now, and this is in New York City. So in New York City, they actually have like some free Wi-Fi like out on the street corner. So like 2 blocks north was like this like little spot where you get free Wi-Fi that's supposed to be really fast. And so I'm gonna go there, and I think it was raining. It was cold and rainy, and it's like, but I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna upload the video. And it's like, because the whole point is like I want to try to do this, do this well, and like have the breaking news. And so I did
Right.
manage to do it. So yeah, it's like I filmed it, and I filmed it. I took the photos, and I uploaded it, and there it was. And of course, I still, of course, it's much faster just to take a picture and like upload that to like Instagram or Facebook. So a few people actually beat me to it. There's a few still photos that like of this stuff that went online first, but I had the first video of it, and so I was glad about that. And I think I had like I think the first really good close up look of Mothra, because
Yeah.
there's like
Okay.
because her body was so tiny.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of people like, so that the video actually got shared a lot. People were like sharing. It's like, oh, look, we got the toys. But yeah, so that's sort of like but yeah, it was a lot of work. I mean, it was like trying to get into Toy Fair, trying, going to New York, and like the whole spiel. It's like it was a lot of work to do, but it's like that was one thing where I was actually able to actually able to like bring some cool news there.
Yeah, that's really fun. Yeah, I'd love to try and go to something like that and see the stuff early. Yeah, and it's just cool to be able to see stuff before everyone else and kind of be the sharer of some exciting news that you're excited about and a lot of other people are excited about too. So
Yeah.
I imagine that'd be
Oh
pretty
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, the downside is sometimes like when it turns out there's like there are no new Godzilla toys. Like the Bandai America booth is like closed, and that you can't enter their booth without permission. So you've got to like make an appointment. You got to like contact them in advance and make an appointment. So show up at your designated time, and then somebody's got to be standing next to you the entire time. You can't just like roam around free. And part of
Oh
it is
wow.
that they're scared of competitors. They don't want like a competitor to find out what they're doing and like try to beat them to market.
Oh, okay.
I think there's a famous case where well, with Barbie, like Mattel and Barbie, of course, was very popular, and then but they were very competitive with other companies, and I think at Toy Fair they learned. I think I don't know if it was Toy Fair, but they managed to learn for someone leaked the information that a competing company was going to make a doll that was basically like a rock star doll. So Mattel went to work fast and made their own rock star Barbie, and they actually got it out to market on shelves before this competitor got their rock star doll out. So
Oh
yeah, there's
wow.
sort of like there's a lot of competition there where it's like they want to try to control that they do want to like try to control what's like what information is released when, so that the competition so that some competing toy company doesn't like steal their idea. But but so yeah, I got into sometimes I get into the Bandai booth, go to all the trouble to make the appointment and get into the Bandai booth, and it's like, okay, what do we got here? We got what is it? It's like, yeah, we got Tom, we got the Pac-Man Tamagotchi. Like actually I got this free. Like, yeah, we got new Tamagotchi toys, and we got a Pac-Man Tamagotchi. It's like, well, yeah, that's cool, but it's like, do you have any Godzilla? It's like, no Godzilla.
Nothing.
No Godzilla to show you. So now it's like, now I get a whole like half-hour tour of their booth where it's just one thing after another that I don't care about. And I'm trying to be nice about it here. Trying to be nice about it. It's like, oh yeah, I've heard that show, or I haven't heard of that show. I've never heard of this show. Should I care about this? Is this show popular? And but and actually another thing that's wild is like some of these toy companies are little toy companies where again they're just desperate. Again, this toy fair, New York Toy Fair, is their make or break opportunity to try to like sell this stuff. I mean, this
Right.
is so they're just like desperate for attention, and so it's like I mean they're almost like beggars on the street. You got to be careful like who you make eye contact with, or like how if you stand too
Yeah.
close to their booth, because they're just gonna like seize on you. It's like, hey, let me tell you about this great dollhouse we have. I said, oh, it's like, no, it's like, you don't want to show me your dollhouse. It's like it's not gonna help you. And it's like, but they're undeterred. It's like, yeah, look, we got the dollhouse, and we got the top level and this level, and it's pink, and it's like, okay. So it's like last time I was there, it's like, okay, I had to make a point of like anytime I stopped moving to regroup, I got to make sure I was far away from any booth,
Right. Yeah.
because it's
Just
sort of like,
beeline in and out and
yeah.
get what you need to. That's
And
funny.
it can be quite disparity. So somebody like Lego is there, but Lego is like, again, they're so popular. They're not letting any people in. Their booth is walled off. There's like it's
Wow.
physical walls. So it's like so you can't even see what's inside there, because it's like because everybody likes Lego. So
Yeah.
basically they want to show it to the people. There's only certain people that matter to them that they want to show it to. Everybody else they want to keep away. So you get that. So one extreme is like the really popular stuff, like successful stuff like Lego, tried to keep people out, and then there's like the up and comers, the small up and coming companies, like desperately trying to get anyone's and
Anyone to
everyone's
look at their
attention.
stuff.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But and it's like, well, we're here for So but then it's yeah, because we don't know, because it's like, so I go and I'm just hoping that somebody will have some Godzilla stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I
Yeah, with
imagine that'd
Playmates,
be.
because actually, yeah, with Playmates, like, because I remember with Godzilla versus Kong, the the toy is leaked out in photos like a few years before the movie came out, and that was actually from a Hong Kong toy fair in Hong Kong. There were leaked blurry photos of the Playmates Godzilla versus Kong toys, because basically it's like they're because that was probably again at least a walled off portion of a booth where they let probably some retailers in there, and they probably told them don't take pictures, but someone took a
Yeah.
picture anyway. And so when we went to, but yeah, they were like, and then Warner Brothers came down hard on the people that actually showed those pictures. Like some people lost their Instagram accounts because
Wow.
for showing those pictures. So I never showed them. So like, I
Yeah.
was like, okay, I'm gonna be conservative here, and I don't want to screw. And I didn't want to get play. I didn't want to risk losing my account. I didn't really want to like get piss off Playmates anyway, or
Right.
piss out Toho or Warner Brothers. So, but yeah, but I was so tempted. I was like, okay, it's like we're going to Toy Fair and Playmates is going to have a booth. And so it's like, well, we want to see the Playmates booth. But we tried to ask, are you going to show the Godzilla stuff? And I said, and we said, it's like, well, no, we're not really showing the Godzilla stuff. But it's like, I bet you it's there. I bet you it's there. It's just like in a hidden room. It's like
Yeah.
a hidden part. There's a hidden, because their booth is set up where there's portions of it, like just kind of like, yeah, walled off, where, so they let us into the Playmates booth, but they said but there's certain areas of it walled off. I was so tempted. It's like, yeah, gee, forever. I was like, I wonder if we should just just try to sneak in, like after they close up for the day. It's like, I wonder if we could sneak in and actually see the toys. And I had
Yeah.
these like wild fantasies of like getting a ladder and sneaking in there and with my camera and my light. And it's like, let's shoot this. But wasn't really seriously thinking about it though, because I thought it's like, well, this is a big convention hall. I'm sure they've got like cameras. I'm sure the convention hall has security and cameras. I'm sure they would notice us climbing into a booth with ladders. But
Yeah.
but I thought, I was like, oh, it would have been nice. Would have been nice to see it.
Yeah.
But
And get
yeah,
the
so yeah, that was the last time we went before everything shut down. Yeah, Playmates had a booth, and we did get to go into the Playmates booth, but yeah, there's no sign of Godzilla. I think there was more turtles. I think there was like a new turtle cartoon, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cartoon. So they showed us the turtles, and Jay Forever likes the turtles, so it's like, okay, well, okay, show us the turtles.
Yeah, I definitely had a pretty big phase where I was into the turtles for a while. But it's funny you bring up like the leaking stuff, because I know a lot of people just recently, some pictures got leaked of some new Jurassic World toys,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
people are posting them on YouTube and Instagram and whatever. And I don't know who exactly it is. If it's I think Hasbro does the toys for them, but I
Yeah,
don't know
there
if
it's
it's more
Mattel.
Hasbro or is it Mattel?
Or
Whoever it is,
yeah,
they're coming down really, really
yeah,
hard
yeah,
on
yeah.
people. And like they're deleting Instagram accounts, they're deleting YouTube channels, like no warning. They're just like just for sharing these photos that got leaked that people
Yeah,
are
yeah,
seeing
which is not
anyways.
the way
Yeah.
to do it. I mean, they should, I mean, really, I think they should be more diplomatic about it. They should just say in advance, it's like, okay, this is on this date, you can show the toys. And
Right.
if you
Yeah.
do it before that, yeah, and even if you do it before that, it should like maybe give people a warning, because I think most people would like be willing to take it down. But
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, no, they just went straight to like trying to like get these get these channels removed,
Yeah.
which is not fun. Because yeah, it seems like there's always leaks. It's like it's so easy for the stuff to leak now. And the
Right.
main source of information we have now is like Ned Chang. I don't know if you've watched
Hmm. Yeah.
so Ned is like a person. I've never met him in person, but Ned Chang is in China, and he's figured out he's made connections where before anyone else in the world gets these toys, like he manages to get these like Godzilla Playmates toys. and
Right.
uh and he's actually like he's nice enough, he'll share. He's been willing to share. And he so basically they don't like no, they don't really YouTube is not the main like video site in China, because I think because the Chinese government wants to have more control over the internet. So there's another website for posting videos in China. That's the main one. So yeah,
Yeah.
he collects. He's a collector, and he'll shoot his own photos and video, and he'll post it online in China. But yeah, he was nice enough. He shared to like share the photos and video with us.
Yeah.
But yeah, I started to think it's like, oh man, like with this Godzilla TV show, like I thought maybe I got to be more careful, because maybe they'll with this Godzilla TV show, maybe Ned will get something early, and then it's like I got to think twice before I actually post it. because
Right. Yeah.
wouldn't want to post it so early that that I end up getting shut down.
Yeah,
And
that would be definitely no good.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy how
And
he gets, because you guys, he let you borrow some footage he took of the like the battle roar Mecha Godzilla, right?
oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's because I don't even
Before
know. Do we even know when that comes out in the States? Like I haven't heard much about when we're even getting that. I keep taking because I actually messaged him after you guys posted your video and said, "Do you have a good picture of the barcode on the bottom of the box?" And he sent it right over. He was super nice. And so he sent me a picture of the barcode, and then I took that barcode photo to my Walmarts and had them scan it to see like if they had any coming in or whatever. And it's not even in their inventory yet. So I have
yeah,
no
yeah.
idea when we're getting that. So he got it pretty darn early.
Yeah, well, I think Chris from Toho Kingdom, actually he Chris from Toho Kingdom is in LA. And I think Playmates has an office in LA. So it looks like Chris has managed to have a relationship with Playmates. Again, for the most part, I try to contact them, and either they ignore me, or if I do get through to somebody, the person I get through to doesn't seem to know anything.
Yeah.
But Chris seems to have a contact there that knows things. And yeah, Toho Kingdom recently did post like some of the official photos. Well, I think with dates. I think some of the stuff is actually expected out pretty soon. Like maybe
Okay.
I think I forget when exactly. But yeah. The first indication uh, of this toy existing was from Ned Chang. Like Playmates made no mention of it.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I think it's sort of, and again, they didn't seem to mind. Playmates didn't seem to mind that we like broke the news, that we never heard any complaints. I think I think movie studios and toy companies, what they really crack down on now is like if there is some sort of upcoming movie, and especially if it's like a big budget, if it's one of these big summer blockbuster movies, they really want to have, like, I think the studio in particular wants really tight control over any information connected with the movie.
Right.
And so that's where I think you got to be careful.
Yeah.
uh
That's probably why all those Jurassic Park people got hit so hard because I assume the new Jurassic World movie is probably predicted to be the big movie of the summer. So
yeah,
yeah, and
yeah,
I
yeah,
think there's a lot of new dinosaurs in it. So yeah, people were leaking
yeah.
stuff, and then they were the ones just getting toasted. But yeah, and I wonder what it would have been like if, because I know the Mechagodzilla, Mechagodzilla more or less got confirmed. I think to be in the movie. I think the first real confirmation I saw was Funko. Something got leaked from Funko, showing a Mechagodzilla figure from
Yeah,
Funko.
yeah.
So I wonder if people had posted about that even earlier, if Legendary or anyone would have come down on them, or if they were kind of, because obviously they released, they showed Mechagodzilla in the later trailers, so they weren't trying to super keep it secret, and he actually was in the first trailer too, just for a tiny second. But so I just wonder what would have happened if people tried to post about that even earlier.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The yeah, yeah. I remember by the time that Funko, like little picture on the back of the Funko box that came, we're all, I think most people were pretty shy about like trying to show it there. Like we at least had like lots of spoiler warnings.
Right.
Try to
Yeah.
lots of spoiler warnings about it. Oh, but though in terms of like breaking news, by the way, I did get lucky one time where I broke news about a X Plus figure. I had like I broke the news worldwide. So
Oh
with
wow.
X Plus, it was actually the X Plus, yeah, 2019 Burning Godzilla. They're gigantic. I think it was their gigantic X Plus gigantic 2019 Burning Godzilla. And because a few other sources of Godzilla toy news, there is Kaiju Battle on Facebook, which is
Yeah.
really outstanding. It's like Mike does just a great job of like covering a lot of news, and he has a website too, so you can both see it. He'll like post the news on Facebook, and then you can go follow a link to his website, and he covers it really well. So a lot of breaking news I see for the first time is from Kaiju Battle.
Yeah.
And then also on Instagram is was it the Kaiju, what's the name, Kaiju News Outlet. Yeah,
Okay.
Kaiju
Yeah.
News Outlet is on Instagram. It's like who also gets a lot of news. So often, like, okay, here I am, I'm on YouTube, I'm trying to cover like the Godzilla news, especially with the I'm trying to cover the Godzilla news. I want to, and I want to try to cover, be one among the first, the first or among the first. And like one thing after another, it's like either Mike would post it first, Kaiju Battle would post it first, or Kaiju News Outlet would post it first. It seemed like I was always, following up behind them. As like I thought, oh, okay, I want to try to post something. Like I want to try to get some news before they do. And
Yeah.
and so at one point I was just trying to make for myself. I was just trying to make a list of like upcoming toys just to be better organized because there's so many of them. Trying to make my own list of upcoming toys and what we know about them, and like a link, and like the link to like the whatever information we have about them. So I was making a list of like the upcoming X plus toys, and one was like this upcoming Rodan, and it's like, okay, what's the link to the information? I went to the link, and it was actually sort of like the X plus link. It was listed on a page for special. It was a special like Wonderfest page where it was not just Rodan. It was like listing several toys that had been revealed at Wonderfest, or
Yeah.
or some event. And I go there. So okay, so I'm at this X Plus Wonderfest page, and there's Rodan. But in addition to Rodan, there's a link to Rodan, and there's a link to these other toys, and there's also a link to this gigantic X Plus, burning Godzilla. And I was like, hey, I don't remember seeing that before. And I'm looking around, I'm checking. It's like I don't remember seeing this. And there's a whole page of it. So yeah, you click on that link, and there's this whole big page of X Plus, like with all the photos and all the news of like this gigantic burning Godzilla. And it's like, have I seen this before? It's like, and I'm looking, it's like, is anyone else talking about this? Oh, Kaiju Battle's not talking about it. And, it's like Kaiju News Outlet is talking about it. So I thought was, oh, well, it must be that they posted this page because this is late at night. This is really late at night. So it's like in the afternoon in Japan. So
Yeah.
I thought, okay, well, they must have just put the page up in Japan, and they're probably just about to, X Plus is probably just about to post it on social media, like probably minutes from now. So it's like, oh, okay, so I got probably like a 5-minute jump here. Like, let me like download the pictures and like post the news, and I can like be like, at least 10 minutes ahead of everybody else. So it's like, okay, so I got it all together, and I made my little video, and it's like, here it is. And then people are all excited, and then I heard from Jeremy Souls, who's actually like in this collector in the US who's
Hmm.
working with X Plus to promote the stuff. And I'd actually met him before, so he was nice about it. It's like, say, how did you get? He's like, say there, hey, how you doing? Say, how did you get these pictures? They're like, how did you get these pictures, by the way? And I said, oh yeah, it's on the, and I told him it's on the X Plus, website. I gave him the link. Here's the link. It's like, it's all right there. They posted
Yeah.
it. And it turned out that they had actually posted it by mistake, that they wanted to break the news like 2 months down the road. It was like
Oh.
they were like a month or two away from wanting to post this news. And so they just posted it by mistake. And so they quickly, as soon as I pointed out to them where it was, they took it down. And so I was apologetic to Jeremy. Oh, sorry about this.
Yeah.
So I really should have checked with him. Like I probably, but I was so excited. I was so excited about like, oh, finally I get to be the first one. That I was like, I just didn't take a moment to check. It's like I should have checked with Jeremy. It's like, hey, it's like I found this. Can I post it? But
Yeah.
because I thought it's like, oh, they wouldn't have like, again, it's like they wouldn't put this up unless they meant to. So,
Right.
but yeah, so I got to break that, and then other people followed. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
That's a cool one. That's a fun story.
yeah, yeah. And yeah, luckily they don't seem to be too mad about it.
Yeah.
Actually I haven't, well, because of the shutdown, I haven't seen Jeremy since then, but he was like, it's like, oh yeah, you're kind of spoiling the news. We wanted it to be this big surprise, like in a month or two. So you're kind of spoiling the big surprise. I was like, oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry
Yeah.
about that.
Well, I'm glad they didn't try and retaliate against you or
But yeah,
anything.
they didn't try to shut me down. There,
Yeah, that's
and
good.
again, once it was out, it was out. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, definitely. There's no point in trying to cover it up after that. So,
yeah, yeah.
well, I really appreciate you taking the time. I'll try and let you go here soon, but I just last little thing I wanted to chat about. It's always fun to hear what's your favorite Godzilla movie and your favorite Godzilla suit.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I was always, again, it's like my fondest memories of watching the movies from when I was a kid, like in Cleveland on Saturday afternoons. And my
Yeah.
favorite was always Destroy All Monsters. So I thought it's like, because
Yeah.
that's sort of like the biggest production that has the most monsters, and I think the biggest fight scene at the end. But also, I thought the human story too, like just the story with humans, I thought was actually like better done than in some of the movies. So I'm still fond of Destroy All Monsters. I still sort of like tend to be like have an affection for that one. And I like how that Godzilla looks too. So I think that's
Hmm.
actually is my favorite suit too. It's like I also like the 68, how the 68 suit looks in particular.
Yeah, it's definitely a good one. And yeah, they definitely went all out with that because I think at one point that was kind of their original plan. I think was to have that kind of be the last hurrah and retire Godzilla. Fortunately, they didn't. But I think at one point that was kind of their train of thought. So yeah, Destroy All Monsters is definitely a good one. The classic suit for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that one's probably one of my top ones. It's hard for me to narrow down a top movie because so many of them are so different, and it's hard to me. It's almost hard to compare like any of the new legendary movies to any of the Japanese ones, just because they're on such different levels in terms of budget and effects and everything. So it's almost hard to compare them. But yeah, so the legendary ones definitely are pretty good, and then yeah, but tons of the Japanese ones are good too. Destroy All Monsters is one of my favorites. The original Godzilla versus Mecha Godzilla is always awesome.
Yeah, for yeah,
Despite the super cheesy gorilla people.
yeah, for me, it's like it seems like the core of it that it was appealing. Again, and I think it all started with the 1933 King Kong. Like part of a lot of the appeal was like you've got sort of like these like monsters like fighting each other, like in kind of often
Mhm.
in kind of like a wrestling style. And to me, it's wild how so many people like just really adored the original 1933 King Kong and became filmmakers because of it and wanted to do the same sort of thing. And I think no one's actually quite fully like been able to like replicate, make a movie that as good as that one. But yeah, I thought to me for like the core of Godzilla was like you got these men in suits like basically wrestling, and then I like
Yeah.
the miniatures too. And then they're destroying all these miniatures in the process. So that's
Yeah.
always sort of like that's always what I'm hoping for the most is like I want a good fights. I want good fights with the between the monsters. And so yeah, that's actually I was pleasantly surprised with Godzilla versus Kong. I thought the fight between the fights between Godzilla and Kong I thought were really well done.
Yeah, yeah, they were super good. And obviously, yeah, there's a lot more you can do with a fight between two things that don't exist, just computerized. The sky's the limit there. Whereas, a lot of the Toho movies, or all the Toho movies really, you're kind of stuck within the parameters of what two guys in big rubber suits can do.
Yeah, and
And
it
they definitely did some really awesome stuff, but it's also fun to see, the total CGI fest and see what they can really do with a huge budget
oh
and
yeah.
unlimited,
Yeah,
no
oh yeah.
barriers.
Yeah, it looks like Godzilla versus Kong was all CGI. They didn't use motion capture actors
Right.
uh because they did that in the other like with Godzilla 2014 and Godzilla King of the Monsters. That was still like they started out with actors and did the motion capture of them. So which I think is like I think is a good thing. But
Yeah.
now I'm not so sure because it's like yeah they didn't have to use they didn't use actors in Godzilla versus Kong and and those fights and that fight was so good. I mean, yeah, being purely CGI, there's a lot of a lot they could do.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if they just kind of did the motion capture with the actors. And I know sometimes some studios and places like to do that just because, for whatever reason, but maybe they kind of partially did it to pay tribute to Godzilla always classically being, somebody's physically there.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, that was definitely cool that they did that. They had the actors with the motion capture
yeah,
and in their silly little latex suits.
yeah. Oh yeah, I'm a big fan of like of the Godzilla versus Destroyer too. I think that's one of the best movies.
Yeah.
But with the Heisei movies in general, I don't like the fact that even though it's still men in suits, they don't really wrestle much. They tend to just like the monsters tend to stand there, and they all have beam effects, and
Yeah. Yeah.
they just stand there and shoot their beams at each other. And it's like no, I want to see like wrestling, which
Yeah.
again
Yeah.
is like I thought there's a lot of there's a lot of like really good like kind of like wrestling and with Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah, they
Yep,
definitely
yep,
did a
yep.
lot of. They covered all their bases in that one, so I'm super excited to see where they go with the future of the MonsterVerse and whatnot. And hopefully the show's awesome, and then hopefully we get a bunch more movies continuing both Godzilla and Kong's stories and introduce us to all sorts of other awesome stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. And then oh yeah, absolutely. And yeah, more toys to review.
Of course, always more toys to review and more things to keep me from saving money ever.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But these things are but these are investments. This is how the grandchildren, how we're going to pay for the grandchildren's college.
Exactly. If I ever decide to sell them,
Yep,
jury's still
yep,
out
yep,
on that one. We'll see.
yep,
Um,
yep.
well, again, I really we'll start to wrap things up here for you, but I really, really appreciate you taking the time coming on here. It was awesome to chat with you about all sorts of Godzilla stuff, and we probably got plenty more we could talk about if you ever want to come back on and do this again. I would definitely be down to do another one with you.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, it's a great time.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, everyone can find you on Luminous News on YouTube. Everyone probably already knows about you, anyways. But yeah, one of the best places to go to for news and figure reviews and all sorts of goodies Godzilla related.
Oh, thanks. Oh yeah, yeah. Great. Yeah, again, great chatting with you.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you so much for being on here. I guess we'll sign off. So thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.